Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating and honestly deeply relatable psychological mystery. We're looking at this modern urge that so many of us have to just withdraw. You absolutely know the feeling, right? Canceling plans at the very last minute, completely ignoring the group chat, and just staying inside. But here's the core question we're going to explore today. Is that urge a healthy personality trait, or is it actually a masked psychological struggle? Like, are we just introverts honoring our natural wiring, or are we dealing with high-functioning anxiety that we've cleverly disguised as introversion? It's a super fine line, and the source material we're looking at today breaks this down in a really eye-opening way. So, let's figure this out together.
I want you to ask yourself a question, and I mean be completely honest as you think about your own life right now. Do you love staying home because it restores you, because it genuinely recharges your batteries and makes you feel whole again? Or is it because leaving the house feels like a performance you can no longer maintain? It's a pretty heavy question, isn't it? Look, I know how incredibly draining it can feel to put on that mask every single time you step out the front door, just pretending everything is perfectly fine when your internal battery is literally flashing red. It's the difference between actively choosing comfort and just fleeing from sheer exhaustion.
So the absolutely crucial point in that question is that specific phrase, a performance you can no longer maintain. Think about what it actually takes to put on an act like that. When leaving your house requires you to constantly force a smile, perfectly curate your reactions, and pretend you have this boundless social energy when you genuinely don't. I mean, if you're literally practicing your happy hello in the rearview mirror before walking into a party, that is pure social exhaustion. That isn't just a simple preference for a quiet Friday night in your living room watching a movie. That is the heavy, crushing weight of a daily theatrical production where you are the reluctant star. And frankly, keeping up that act takes a massive toll on you.
Okay, let's dive into this. When looking into the research, one concept really stood out: optimal arousal theory. We actually need to understand this to know what a healthy baseline looks like in the first place. Optimal arousal theory is this scientific concept explaining that some of us simply have a biological need for low-stimulation environments. True introverts have a nervous system that reaches its peak, its optimal arousal, with way less external noise and social input than extroverts. Their threshold is just lower. And you know what? This is a perfectly normal, biologically sound reality. Needing a quiet space to feel like your best self, or wanting just one friend over instead of 10. Actually, scratch that. It's more than just a preference. It's a wonderful, healthy biological baseline. It's your body operating exactly as it should. So, we have optimal arousal theory, your healthy, natural need for a calm environment where your nervous system just hums along happily. But there's a dark side to this coin. It's a totally different state called high-functioning distress, and the juxtaposition here is stark. This is what happens when staying in isn't about finding that healthy balance at all. Instead, it becomes about managing this overwhelming internal chaos that you're desperately trying to hide from the rest of the world. You might be keeping it completely together on the outside, meeting your deadlines, showing up for your family, but the effort required to maintain that facade is quietly breaking you down. It's distress just wrapped up in the socially acceptable package of being a homebody.
There is a phrase in the research that just really hits hard: pushing through autopilot while feeling dead inside. Think about that for a second. When you're dealing with high-functioning distress, you might look totally fine, even wildly successful to everybody else. You go to work, you run your errands, you nod and laugh at exactly the right times in the break room, but internally, you are completely on autopilot. You're just going through the motions. And beneath that automatic, robotic routine, there is this profound numbness. It's a feeling of being completely detached, emotionally drained, and just running on fumes. You aren't staying home because you love your couch. You're staying home because you have absolutely nothing left in the tank. That is definitely not introversion, my friends.
Let's contrast that heavy feeling with what a healthy baseline actually feels like. Because remember, true solitude is peaceful. When a genuine introvert seeks out alone time to reach that optimal arousal we talked about, it's deeply restorative. It's a calming exhale after a really long, busy week. It literally feels like wrapping yourself in a warm blanket on a freezing cold day. You're alone and you are totally at peace with your own company. Your mind is quiet, your heart rate is steady, and you feel genuinely safe. You aren't dreading the next interaction, you're simply enjoying the present silence. That calm, quiet restoration, that is the healthy baseline we always want to measure ourselves against.
But what if your home doesn't feel like a restorative retreat? This brings us to a real epiphany from the source material. High-functioning anxiety takes that beautiful concept of a peaceful home and completely morphs it into a shield. Suddenly, your four walls aren't there just to comfort you, they are there to defend you. You aren't staying in to enjoy your own company or read a good book or dive into a hobby. You're staying in to actively avoid the outside world. It becomes an act of defensive avoidance. Think about it. Have you ever dodged a perfectly nice neighbor in the hallway just to avoid 30 seconds of small talk? Yeah, we've all been there. But when home becomes a fortress used just to keep the world out, the entire dynamic is shifted.
So, why the need for a shield? What exactly are we defending ourselves from? Well, as you can see here, it comes down to escaping something called monitoring mode. Monitoring mode is that completely exhausting state of social anxiety where you are constantly hyper-aware. You're assessing your environment nonstop, reading every single micro-expression on people's faces, wondering if your tone was too harsh, overanalyzing a completely normal text message, and literally planning your escape route from a conversation before it even begins. Existing in a perpetual state of high-alert threat assessment is incredibly draining on your brain and your body. I mean, no wonder you want to hide behind a shield. When the outside world demands that level of hypervigilance, of course you want to lock the door.
So, how does this escalate over time? Well, when you're constantly seeking refuge from that exhausting monitoring mode, a subtle but deeply dangerous shift happens in your brain. Let's walk through this logically. Relying on your home as a defensive shield, chronically avoiding the outside world so you don't have to monitor every little detail, and constantly escaping those social anxiety triggers, this eventually morphs into actual survival conditioning. Your brain starts treating everyday mundane social interactions, like just going to the grocery store or answering a phone call, like genuine threats to your physical safety. Your nervous system is reacting as if a lion just walked into the room. At this point, you aren't just an introvert preferring a book over a crowded party anymore. You're a survivor fleeing a perceived danger. When we pull all this research together, it really forces us to look at a core dichotomy. And this is the ultimate evaluation you have to make in your own life. Are you retreating to a peaceful sanctuary to honor your biological need for optimal arousal? Like, is it a healthy choice that leaves you feeling totally refreshed? Or are you trapped in a cycle of survival conditioning where your anxiety has hijacked your world and forced you to hide behind a shield just to cope with the exhaustion of it all? The behaviors, staying home on a Friday night, canceling plans, putting your phone on Do Not Disturb, they might look absolutely identical from the outside, but the internal experience couldn't be more vastly different. Which leaves us with this final, profound question to carry with you today. Is your solitude a peaceful sanctuary, or is it just survival conditioning? Are you enjoying your optimal arousal, or are you pushing through autopilot, feeling utterly exhausted by the performance? Look, taking an honest look at our motivations for withdrawing can be really challenging, but it is absolutely the first step toward genuine well-being. I really hope this explainer has given you the clear vocabulary to truly understand what you might be experiencing, and that it sparks a journey of self-discovery to find your own genuine peace, whether that's inside your home or out in the world. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this fascinating topic today, and I'll catch you in the next one.